I am so grateful this morning for an opportunity to be here with you, that you have joined us on Simply Sarah. I know you can already feel my energy, that I'm so excited about the conversation that we're going to have. It's going to be transformative for you and for me, and I'm excited about that. Welcome to Simply Sarah. I'm Sarah Stockham, your host, and just so glad that you are carving out time to invest in you. Thank you for doing that. We also want to say thank you to our sponsors, to the Stegner family, for their remarkable encouragement and support for Lamano Art, that has recently launched something called The Art of Forgiving, how you can use art to help transform emotions, using emotions as signals. It's a very transformative way of working through some of the heavier things in life. And then for one of my dear teachers, for Katie Ingersoll, coming alongside and saying, I'm interested in supporting as well. She's an incredible teacher. She helped me unpack part of my growing up in Africa, living in a shamanic area. And she just taught me so much about what I remembered and couldn't quite put the pieces together. And you can reach out to Katie at katieingersoll@gmail.com if you are interested in a conversation with her. And so this morning, we're going to bring in Raj Khedun, and he is all the way from London, 5 hours plus from the East Coast of America. So thank you so much for carving out time for this conversation, Raj. We are delighted that you are here. You work at the Keep Fit Kingdom. You're the manager there. You're also somebody who's going to be talking about the 3-3 insomniac hack for being able to just break apart things that people struggle with in order for them to have better lives and live to 100 and beyond. So Raj, welcome to Simply Sarah.
Wow, thank you so much. What a wonderful introduction, Sarah. Looking forward to see what we can unpack in this conversation.
Absolutely. Raj, how did you get to where you are today? What was your journey, your path?
That's a fantastic question. I think it's always good to start there. So it all started for me when I was 3 years old, and I was in the nursery school. My mother took me to kindergarten for the first time, and we got enrolled, and we looked at the playground and the classrooms and everything, and we ended up in the library. And for some strange reason, my my hand gravitated towards two books on a bookshelf in the library. One was about dinosaurs, and one was about planets. Right, so all the Thomas the Tank Engine, the Mr. Happy, Mr. Sad books, and all that. I didn't touch that. But for whatever reason, the images on these two books remained like permanently imprinted on my mind. I can remember it like it's yesterday. And funnily enough, those images, dinosaurs and planets, guided me far more profoundly than my entire education did.
Wow.
Yeah. And people might be thinking, okay, well, why? The thing with dinosaurs, I was always wondering about evolution. Like, how do you evolve from a less sentient life form like a crocodile to then become, you know, um, uh, a dolphin or an elephant or a dog, and you're able to sense more and feel more and react and interact more with humans and things and cooperate more. And I was always fascinated, like, how does that process of evolution happen? Where is it? It's invisible. Like, who is doing that? Like, what is that? And then I started saying, well, for humans, can we evolve ourselves then? And of course, the answer is yes. Can you evolve? Can you consistently apply your brain power and start to think and understand and question and open up your brain potential and start to question things and why they are done and how it all works? Yes, humans can do that. Absolutely.
Yes.
You know, and the thing with the planets was also, I hope people can take something from this. When I was young, I was wondering about these planets. Like, okay, you have beautiful planets like Saturn with the amazing rings, Jupiter, which is the king of planets, yeah, Jupiter spins at 47,000 kilometers per hour. So, yeah, and you can fit 1,300 planet Earths in Jupiter.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, and then you've got Venus, beautiful, Mercury and Mars and everything. I'm thinking, what are all these planets doing there? Right? If you go on YouTube, look up Mars, the NASA rover sort of robots on Mars looking around, you can see the sky is red. the ground is red, rocky red, but there's no water, there's no plants, there's no dinosaur bones or any kind. So why is there an empty planet in the solar system? And just next to it, Earth is full of life from top to toe.
Yes.
And how is there an empty planet, a vacant lot there, and this one is full?
Right.
With 8 billion people and all the animals, the creatures, the fruits, the vegetables, everything is here. What is that about? I started thinking about these things when I was very young. So I hope that gives you a bit of a genesis backstory.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And how did that then, these asking of questions, how did that lead you into your professional work?
Well, um, I became deeply interested in human nature and
Mhm.
psychology and why we do the things we do. Right? I started questioning those things. I became a relationships coach, but
Yes.
even before becoming a relationships coach, which exclusively for women for 15 years.
Mhm.
But even before that, I was into health and fitness and gym, martial arts, weightlifting, all kinds of sports and things because I wanted to understand anatomy in the human body. How is the human body made? In what image is this made? What's the template? What's its potential? How do I maximize it? You
Yes.
know? And I was thinking about all these things, and they all kind of came and evolved together to
Mm.
kind of raise up my entire vibrational frequency to a higher octave of awareness, shall we say.
Yes.
Yeah.
In that space, then, of having these conversations with women, helping them to navigate relationships, first always is our relationship with ourself, whether that's for female or male. Always the relationship is here, and the inner
Mhm.
conversations that we are having, and how we are interpreting the things that are happening around us that are just happening. They're not happening necessarily for us or to us, but what's our take on that? And that filter, and then beginning to see that filter. And for myself, I know that there was a tremendous transformation occurred for me when I realized that I was wearing glasses that were not rosy at all, and that I was looking at everything through a um, very hedonistic and very low uh, thought process of things, and began to bump into people who had a much higher way of looking at things, and weren't as knee jerk reactionary to things happening around them, that they were able to see them and kind of go, oh, isn't that interesting? Seeing the same stimuli, seeing the same information, and in places that we needed to get safe, they moved to safety as well, but not not having these knee jerk reactions of the sky is falling at every single moment. And so that space always begins on the inside of those conversations, and coming to that space of understanding that we can change. How did that begin to change you?
Well, that's a great question, and it's something that we're asked a lot on all of these podcasts to unravel the mysteries of human existence and complexities of relationships, which can be as complicated as you want. Absolutely, it can be mindlessly crazy. But the thing is that um, life is it's all about energy,
Mm-hmm.
and there's only two. If we can take a kind of metaphysical stance on this, because people shouldn't be afraid of the word metaphysics, because
Right.
each of us are made in the image of the cosmos, and we are we all have infinite intelligence, all of us. We all have access to that. So no one should be afraid of anything, because we already are the sum and bone of everything in the universe.
Yeah.
So relax. That's the main thing. Just relax.
Yes.
Realize you are witnessing yourself.
Mm.
Everything you go through in your life is just it's just an experiment to realize,
Mm.
who are you in all of this? Do
Yes.
you recognize your true self in all of this or not? Are you witnessing your full self or a
Right.
partial piece of yourself?
Yes.
That's all we're here to do, because everything was already done.
Yes. Everything is done.
Everything, everything's done. It's just for you to realize that.
We are in Earth School, and it's such a profound place to be. And it does give us the opportunity, if we think about it as being school, it gives us the opportunity to perhaps look back at our own school experiences and determined that there were some things, places that we showed up and we were absolutely fully ourselves, and other places that we had spaces in order to still learn. And the cosmos continues to get bigger and bigger, and it continues to expand. That's a scientific word for it. And we also are expanding, and we get to choose in some ways how we want to move forward in that expansion. We have so much more to have conversations about. I think this is a really great place for us to take a quick thank you to our sponsors, and then we will come back. We'll be right back.
This is Michelle. She teaches women how to forgive the people who betrayed them, not by asking them to talk about it, but by helping them express it through art. She's an art therapist and the creator of the Art of Forgiving, a class that turns emotion into expression. No therapy jargon, no pressure to explain, because forgiveness isn't about the other person. It's about setting yourself free. This is Michelle, and this is the Art of Forgiving.
Are you ready to enrich and deepen your relationship with the spirit world and increase your knowledge of the shamanic journey? Then this is for you. The first step of the shamanic journey is to discover your power animal. This process allows you to step into spirit's energetic field where they share their aspect of the divine's power. And as a result, you begin to realize the significance of their sacred power and what it means to you personally. Katie Ingersoll is a highly sought shamanic and Reiki teacher, a practitioner, a spiritual counselor, and educator. With grace, she integrates the rich teachings of the wise ancient ones into her workshops, encouraging her students to mesh these teachings into their everyday lives. For details of how you can discover your power animal, reach out to Katie at katieingersoll@gmail.com. You can also find her as a qualified teacher and practitioner on Sandra Ingerman's shamanicteachers.com. Katie Ingersoll's classes and workshops are fresh, unique, fun, and informative. Ready to deepen your shamanic understanding? Reach out today. Raj, I am so enjoying this conversation with you. I would love for you to tell a little bit more about maybe some things that have been transformative for you in your search to, as you watch yourself become more you and to live to 100 plus.
Okay. Well, I think, whenever you have a major shift, a transformation, it could be something great, it could be something not so great. There's so much to unpack in this narrative and the environment that we're in this current Earth time, the kind of systems and structures that we have from school, for example. We're taught to basically get a job, be subservient to a boss. It's the Rockefeller model. We're all been trapped into that servitude. And now I think people are beginning to waken up and say, look, I'll be stuck in the matrix if I didn't question things and do my own thing and do what makes me happy. Like, why should I always have to work under the impression of a job I don't like and people I don't not particularly resonating with? That's not the way to spend your life. You're wasting your time. And life is made of time, and time is very precious, just like your breath. So I think it's time to kind of break out of the old paradigm and not be trapped by anything. And if you can think your way out creatively to serve a small community of people or your followers or wherever you happen to be, I think that's a better way to be rewarded for what you love to do and keep expanding that and reach more people.
Yes.
That's what I believe. So back to your question, if you don't mind reiterating?
So I imagine that life hasn't been a straight line for you. I imagine there have been disappointments and places of question along the way.
Yeah.
How have
Yeah.
you dealt with some of those and moved through them?
Okay, that's a great point. Massive turning point for me was when I was 18 years old. I went to India for the first time.
Mm.
Right? And I'll be honest, I was very arrogant. I was very obnoxious, and I was rude as an 18-year-old from London. Very materialistic. I didn't have to work hard. I had everything.
Mm.
I had everything. And uh, when I went to India, I met an avatar. Now, for the benefit of your followers who are not sure what an avatar is, you've heard of James Cameron's film Avatar, and you've heard of Avatar: Last Airbender on Netflix. You've got those shape-shifting powers and things like that. So I met a full-blown avatar on
Mm.
this planet in India,
Remarkable.
and I know. And when I look back, and I'm thinking, I can't even believe this is real. Like, wow! Like to just imagine someone with all this power.
Mm-hmm.
He basically told me that son. He addressed me as son. Yeah, you don't know why you're here. You don't remember what you did in your past.
Mm.
I'm the one. I was watching you when you took those books off the bookshelf.
Mm.
I know why you're here. You don't know why you're here. I'm going to remind you of why you come here.
Mm.
I'm the one who brought you here. And I was like, oh my God, what is this? Right.
Right.
And I was 18 years old, arrogant, obnoxious, and rude. Right. And I'm thinking, oh, I'm going to go and analyze an avatar and see what this is all about. Nonsense. He humbled me, like completely shattered my life
Mm.
in a good way. He
Yes.
said, listen, son, you don't know anything. You don't know anything. You've read some books in school, but you think you know something. You don't know anything. But
Mm.
be humble. You don't know where you come from. You don't know where you're going. You don't know why you're here. You don't know what happens when you die. You don't know how this earth was made. So realize the fact, son, you don't know anything. And then the reason why he said all that was because he wanted me to be humble and listen.
Mm.
Faith comes by hearing and hearing and hearing and hearing and hearing, and you can keep on saying hearing. Yeah, he wanted me to be humble and listen to the voice inside.
Mm.
So I did that for years. I was basically a hermit, self-imposed. I didn't have to do it, but I
Right.
wanted to because I felt his energy was from an avatar. They have this electromagnetic energy, which is huge. You get in the presence of someone like that, you're not going to be the same again. Right? It gets into your mind, it gets into your aura, it gets into all of you.
The DNA of who you are. Yes.
Correct. Correct. It's funny you say DNA because we have a mastermind group called Avatar DNA.
Love that.
Yeah. So he says, you've got to learn, you've got to be humble, you've got to listen to. I was basically a hermit from age 22 to 30,
Mm.
studying Tibetan Buddhism by myself. And people thought I was mad. People thought, like, there's something wrong with you. Like, why don't you socialize? Why don't you go to all the parties and weddings and everything? Like, where are you? Like,
Yeah.
you know. So I had to go through that process because I wanted to understand, why is my thought process so different from what society is talking
Mm.
about? TV, radio, newspapers, horror
Right.
stories, every single moment. Why is my narrative inside not conforming to that?
Right.
So I hope that helps kind of open that can of worms
Yeah.
into answering your question.
Yes. I so also appreciate that you were out of your environment. You were out of London. You had gone, the flight is not a short flight. So you take this long flight. It's your first time to be in India. All of the smells, all of the colors, the noises, all of that
Yeah.
is, you're experiencing all of that. And then to have this experience. So, did you make an appointment with the avatar? How did you meet the avatar? Was it a connection with the family?
Yeah. My mother suggested that I go, like, just because I was curious, even though I was obnoxious and
Yes.
rude. And people always laugh at that. They said, Raj, I can't believe that. You're so humble and you're so caring and you love everyone. I
Yeah.
said, yeah, but when I was 18, because I didn't know any better, I
Right.
was I was very foolish, right? I was very silly. But the thing I did have was curiosity. I was
Mm.
still very curious about things. So even though I may have been, uncultured. I still was very, that's a nice way to put it, uncultured. I was still very curious about, okay, well, why does this work? Why do people do this? Why do people do that? And so on.
Actually, you were
Yeah.
very locally cultured, because to be 18 and to be, seeing the world around you, that's a very, each person, I think most people at 18, have that. I would say that you were highly cultured, but that has a completely different meaning. So,
Yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly.
yes. So, in these
So,
8 years of you, 8, 9 years of you choosing this quietness, this space, this inner reflection, the opportunity to
mm.
be deeply curious, what were some of the things that came out of that that have been helpful for you and potentially for others?
So huge paradigms of models, systems of thought, very important, extremely important for humans. If you don't have a system of thought, you're lost.
Mhm.
You're losing guidance. You have no sat nav, like cosmic navigation system for your thought process. And
Right,
if you don't have that, your emotions are going to run amok, and you will run into the ditch, no doubt,
right.
no doubt. So because I knew all the models of what, I didn't even have a model of thought from the Western school system. I had nothing.
Yeah.
And then I realized that I'm gambling with my life.
Mm.
I have no basis. I have no foundation. Nothing. But at root, we all have everything in truth, but we don't realize that. We
Yeah.
are not conscious of that. So I realized that I had to build models of understanding and navigation to get
Mm.
through life safely and help other people do the same. So to answer your question, Sarah, there were some models that I thought thought through very carefully to apply to myself and also teach others. So one of these deep models is the 5 life areas.
Mm.
So whether we know, just like we have 5 fingers, and
Yeah.
no one's going to argue with you whether you have 5 fingers or not. It's obvious you do.
Yes.
And no one's going to fight that. Oh, is there 5 elements? No, there's 58. No, there's 5 main elements. Okay,
Yes.
don't argue about it. It's just how it is.
Right.
So the 5 life areas are health, wealth, relationships,
Hmm.
mind power, and your connection with the creator or God or the universe or the force or however you want to call that. So these 5 life areas consume everyone.
Yes.
Everyone on the planet has to contend with these 5 areas.
Hmm.
And it doesn't matter what government you belong to. It doesn't matter if you're male or female. It doesn't matter what your religion is. It doesn't matter. These 5 areas exist for everyone.
Hmm.
Right? When I made a model of this and defined it and started to teach people, saying, "Oh yeah, so it's not dependent on my country. It's not dependent on what the TV says. It's not dependent on what scientists agree or disagree on. It doesn't. None of that matters."
Right.
Right. So that was very helpful. Another one is the sixfold hierarchy. The
Mm.
sixfold hierarchy is basically we all have spirit. We've all come from spirit.
Hmm.
We all have a soul, which means God was extremely abundant and gave us a piece of Himself, which is
Yeah.
amazing.
Yes.
We all have a soul. We all have a mind, right?
Right.
We all have a body, the senses, and the world to play on. It's our
Right.
playground. Problem is, though, Sarah, where it gets confusing is the mind.
Hmm.
Because if you flip the mind up, you'll have the connection to source, meaning
Hmm.
soul and spirit.
Right.
But if you flip the magnet down and you take on your identity as flesh and bone only, you're
Right.
going to think, you're going to think and trick yourself to thinking that
Hmm.
you are just a body, the senses, and the world.
Right.
It's an illusion.
Yes.
Right? So this sixfold hierarchy, all of that depends on your decision to flip the magnet of the mind upward or
Hmm.
downward.
Yes.
And that determines your entire life experience on this earth.
Yes.
Yeah. So that model, extremely simple. I can teach it to anyone in a couple of minutes and change people's lives and change their inner vision.
Yes.
So those 2 models, 5 life areas, sixfold hierarchy. Another one is the 3 life secrets.
Mm.
The 3 life secrets is something which is even more esoteric. And you say, how deep do I have to go? You can, it's unbelievable. It's really incredible. So the 3 life secrets, which I'm happy to teach all the time. First thing, life force.
Mm.
Life force is the superabundant energy which is surrounding us electromagnetically in the atmosphere.
Yes.
Right. The life forces which even doctors struggle with to understand. And
Right.
I'm even teaching a few doctors right now because they don't understand this. So in the universe, there are 5 life currents.
Mm.
5 life currents. One moves up, it's called Udana Prana. One is in the heart, which is called Prana Prana. One
Mm-hmm.
moves down, Apana Prana, takes care of excretion and reproduction and digestion and these things. Then you've got Vyana Prana, which enables you to move and be mobile
Mm.
and to have your growth and expansion. The other one is Samana Prana in the stomach, which helps you to digest food and distribute energy from food into all of your body cells. But these 5 life currents are not talked about in school.
No.
Doctors don't even know about it. But if they're not balanced or there's one fighting another, you will create disease in your body.
Yes, because it's dis-ease. It's the lack of
Correct.
easement, right? So it's the
Correct.
not having ease in the body. So now you have
Correct.
inflammation, you have areas that are struggling to get the nutrients that they need. Yes.
Correct. Exactly. So these 5 life currents also exist in Chinese traditional Chinese medicine as qi. Call it life
Yes.
force qi. Same thing. Prana is in Sanskrit. But the other that's one of the secret life elements. The other one is astrology. We,
Hmm.
we talked about the planets earlier. Do you understand how the planets are interacting with you energetically or not? There is a relationship
There definitely is. My sister is a double board certified physician, OBGYN, and she would talk about, oh, it's a full moon, we're going to have more babies, in that space. And
there.
even people who are like, those are just planets or stars out there and may or may not be able to see them because of all of the light at night, still are being impacted by the moon. And if you're impacted by the moon, could you also then stretch to think that maybe you're impacted by other things as well? The possibility of, right? So go ahead.
Absolutely. So when you think about all the planetary orbs and their electromagnetic energy, we spoke about Jupiter earlier. If it's spinning at 47,000 kilometers per hour, what kind of energy is it throwing out into the solar system? How is it affecting the other planets as well as us as humans? Think about it,
Yeah.
right? So understanding in Vedic culture, in the yogic culture of India, they always draw up astrological charts for everybody.
Yes.
You see, so it gives you a map of how you should direct your energy so you don't waste your time and you avoid all the pitfalls and miseries of life. That's why they do it. But now in the modern day, it's like they kind of shied away from it
Mhm.
because they don't understand it. It's too profound. No, it's all woo woo, whatever. But the point is, it exists.
Yes.
Whether you like it, whether I like it or I don't, this system exists.
Mm-hmm.
The other one, there's just deep one, is reincarnation.
Hmm.
I was slapped in the face by this one, having to realize that, look, just because I don't remember my past lives doesn't mean it didn't exist.
Hmm.
And when you look at the inequality of life, you say, why are some people rich? Why are some people poor? Why are some people strong? Why are some people weak? Why do some people die early? Why do some people live long? Why are some people miserable? Why are some people happy? It doesn't make sense, right? It only makes sense when you look back and realize, oh, these are habit patterns I brought forward from my past lives.
Hmm.
See? So that's the only thing that made sense to me. And I've studied this rigorously for 25 to 30 years. So even if I didn't like it, I didn't create the cosmos. I didn't invent the law. So I have to acknowledge it exists. So those models help.
How do you align that? The way that my brain works with the concept of reincarnation is this space. If I believe in there's a cosmic being who is worthy of adoration and praise, isn't that cosmic being also capable, being so creative, of continuing to create new rather than needing to reuse, to rework through? And so when I have these deep dreams, when I have these flashes of, oh, I've been here before, for me, that's much more of the DNA that's inside of me, that was inside of my mom, inside of my grandmother, inside of my great grandmother, inside of, for all those generations, right? So that's for me the flashes that come forward. I guess what I'm saying is I haven't yet come to that space of saying, because I have such a belief in a creator that is creating new and amazing, why the recycling, if that's a really not necessarily a very technical way of saying it, but in my mind, that's what it feels like. So I'm just curious how you answer that, how you come to that space.
It's such a vast area when you think about the gravity of what it really means. I think some people, they can grasp it, some people can't. Some people intuitively sense, yes, I understand the law of karma does not end when you die, unfortunately or fortunately, depending on which side of it you're on.
Yeah, exactly.
you know,
Yes,
you
exactly.
know. So the thing is this: if I can help
Yes,
navigate, if I can help navigate this
please.
issue, for example, if you had committed a lot of harm to people in your life, right, you may not get the negative rebound effect of it now, but
Mm,
there's a time element whereby it's going to come eventually,
mm,
but probably when you least expect it.
yeah.
Very probably when you least expect it. And it might not actually happen in the life you're in right now.
Mm,
It can happen and hit you when you're reborn. And then you could be born in a situation where you are absolutely powerless
mm,
and you have no grounding, you have no resources, you have no people to help you because the karma is working itself out
yeah.
on that entity in that life. So, on the other hand, you could say, well, look, if I do lots of good for lots of people, yeah, then you protect yourself
Mm,
from negative repercussions. That's why in your heart, as it says in James Allen's beautiful book, and also in the Bible, it says, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he.
yes, yes,
Yeah, exactly.
yes.
So if you always wish well for everyone and give everyone a part of your goodness, meaning your insight, a bit of your money, a bit of your learning, and be genuinely careful about other people as much as you would for yourself, you protect yourself.
Yeah.
See? That's fulfilling
Mm,
the law in the Bible. It says, do
yes.
unto others as you would wish done to you.
To do. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
Mm,
So reincarnation is a tremendous subject. If you read Edgar Casey's book, Many
mm,
Mansions, it talks a lot about why a person has epilepsy or why a person has suffering terribly, because he would go into the past life and say, they did this and this and this. They took advantage of themselves as a lawyer and they abused all these people. That's why they have this negative repercussion.
yeah.
And if you ever read that book, it's very small, but very condensed, packed with
Mm,
stories about
mhm.
karmic repercussions. And like, oh my God, why isn't this taught anywhere? Like, come on, this is serious stuff,
Yeah.
you know? So those models, Sarah, to answer your
Mm,
question about what
very
did I
helpful.
learn,
Yes.
five six-hole hierarchy and these three life secrets. Yeah. So
Mm. And so, in the life secrets, then, in this space of energy, how does that help somebody? Are you talking eating an Ayurvedic way? What helps the stomach to be able to be in alignment with grounding, so to speak, or other things?
this is a beautiful question. And a lot of people say, Raj, it can't be that simple. It can't be. I said, it is. What do you mean? Listen, in the atmosphere, what
Yes.
we think is just oxygen, nitrogen, and hydrogen we've been taught from school, that's far from the truth. It's a tiny piece of it.
Yes.
Yeah. The
Yes.
truth is that, yeah, absolutely, it's so much more. The truth is that this atmosphere is made of light, electricity, and magnetism. So if this stuff is surrounding us 24/7 and it's hyper abundant, there's no end of it.
Right.
It's infinite. If you don't know that and you don't know how to take it into your system,
Mm,
because through meditative or yogic breathing practices, you will not be able to optimize your immune system and your nervous system.
mm,
So you're going to be like a fish in water who took for granted that they were in water all their life, but they never knew what that was, actually.
Yeah.
Humans take air for granted. They don't actually know what air is, but it's surrounding them the whole time, so they took it for granted, right?
Yeah.
That's absolutely what we should not do.
It's also
So,
why the people who were mining salt, I want to say it's in maybe the area of Poland, that they weren't getting sick. The people who went into the mines would not get sick, right? And
right.
people kept saying other people are getting sick, but these people are not. Well, it's that they were breathing this such beautiful, clean air because of all the properties that salt has as well.
Right.
It's fascinating. Continue, please. I'm learning so
Yeah.
much.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So to answer your question more succinctly, if I may,
Yes.
um, you were talking about all the imbalances in the airs of the stomach and the heart and the throat and
The
joints and so on.
chakras,
So
yes.
the chakras as well, absolutely. So what we've done is create a breathing method that is so simple and so easy that virtually anyone from the age of 4 till 85, 90, even older, if you can still breathe, can do this.
Will you teach us?
Absolutely. Absolutely, I will. And just to know the theory of how this works and why I've not been to a doctor for 22 years, why I've never taken medicine for 22 years, not been to a hospital, had an X-ray, an ultrasound, or an MRI for 22 years, right? And people are mad at me because they're saying, that's not fair. How come you never ever go to these? You ask the doctors the questions. When you go to the doctor's office, if you ever do, Raj, you may as well switch positions and tell the doctor to sit in the patient's chair, and then I'll tell the doctor how to get well. But the thing is, what you do is when you bring in prana or life energy into your immune system, you now harmonize all of those 5 vital airs that we talked about.
Yes.
And how do you do that? Easy. It's so easy. You can't believe how easy this is. You unlock endorphins from the brain, serotonin and dopamine, which are feel good, happy hormones. You also
Yes.
release what's called anandamide. Are you familiar with that one?
I'm not. Tell me more about anandamide.
Anandamide comes from the Sanskrit word bliss. Ananda means bliss.
Ah.
Right? So all humans have a bliss molecule in their brain.
Mm.
But if you never learn how to access it, you will never experience the maximum happiness and joy and power and strength that you were capable of experiencing as a human being.
And not
You'll,
just for a
you'll
moment, over time, the length of it, right?
all of your life.
Yes.
'Cause we're made in the image of God, so we're supposed to be happy, right?
Yes.
God is happiness and joy, and bliss itself, and we're made in that image. Why are we not experiencing that?
Mm.
So that's our true nature. Also, this method activates the vagus nerve, which means that it enables you to get into rest, digest,
Mm.
healing of trauma, healing of surgeries, healing of injury, and
Yes.
move away from inflammatory responses which happen on
Mm.
the sympathetic nervous system with
Yeah,
freeze, fight, flight, cortisol, fear, adrenaline, and so on and so on and so on.
exactly.
If you don't know how to dial back into parasympathetic, you will constantly be fearful, you'll be stressed, you'll take medicine, you'll never get to the end of your
Yeah.
diagnostic disease process. It could be endless.
Yes.
So you need to learn how to activate the vagus nerve to get into
Mm.
parasympathetic nervous state at least 4 times a day for 15 minutes each time, at least.
Mm.
So
So, what does that look like? Does it mean just sitting quietly and not listening to anything? Maybe putting headphones on to cancel out everything around in order to work on the breathing. People will talk about doing a 7-3-2 breathing, 3-4. Does it matter how the person breathes while they are moving into these states of alignment?
yes, it does. Surprisingly enough, you might think because the reason why people think it's not important is because it's air. It's the air. Take it for granted. That's the wrong approach.
Yeah.
So we'll do this with you, Sarah, so you can feel it for yourself. You're willing to try it? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, let's do it.
Beautiful.
Okay. So I'm going to take you through a short condensed version just so you can begin to sort of experientially feel what happens. Okay. All right. So are you familiar with breathing methods yourself?
Mm-hmm.
Which ones work for you the best?
What works for me the best is actually to exhale first and get everything out and tighten up the lower abs, and then relax the lower abs before I take the breath in. That for me has been the best way. Pull the air up to my shoulders, maybe shudder a little bit to help reset the nervous system. And then when I'm ready to let all of that out, and then come back to normal breathing and then do that set again. But that has worked best for me.
Okay. Okay, great. You tried that for a few years. Is
Mm-hmm.
that a long term? Okay, good. Have you tried Wim Hof or any of the kind of Andrew Huberman or any of those things?
You'd need to describe the breathing. When I do yoga, sometimes we will, work on having our hands in different places and breathing in one side and out the other. Sometimes we will breathe very, very quickly for periods of time, hands over the head, bringing down, you know, moving the energy out of moving the what I would call um, the stuck energy. There's a better way of saying it, but that's why I'm going to leave it there for now. In the lower part of the lungs, because on one side we have two lobes, as I understand it, because the heart for our lungs, and the other side we have three, lobes for the lungs because there's more space. And so getting all of the word is not mildewy, but just air that's sitting down there that really isn't being activated, not moving around, getting that to actually move and leave the body to bring in new for the full body, not to be breathing from the chest, but to go to diaphragmic breathing.
Good. Okay. Excellent. Excellent. Okay. So this one, the 3-3 method, it's very soft. It's very gentle. It does not require you to fully inhale or fully exhale. So you don't have to force anything. You don't have to compete with yourself. You don't have to race or anything. That's why a lot of children and adults who have not even done any kind of yoga or spiritual practice, they love it because it's like, oh, it's so easy, it's gentle, it's soft, it's smooth. So we'll do it for a short period and see how you do with it.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So what we do first, Sarah, is we check the nostril flow. So we block one nostril and breathe in and out a few times of the other one. And if you can tell me what the ratio is roughly, is it like 50-50 or 60-40 or 70-30 roughly?
It's more 60-40.
60-40.
Yeah.
Okay. So the left one is a bit more open then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So good 60-40. If you can tell me, Sarah, on a scale of 1 to 10, where 1 is how do you feel overall? 1 is feeling awful, and 10 is feeling amazing. What would you say roughly you are?
A 9.5.
Wow, really amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I've been outside. I've been picking berries. I've been barefoot. It's a cool morning. I have done all the things. It's a lovely. Got some early morning sunshine. Slept well last night. Ate my favorite breakfast. So yes, life is good. And I'm here with you. It's fantastic.
Awesome. Wow.
Had my quiet time. So yes, all the things.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay. So in this method, you breathe in 3 times through the nose and then 3 times out of the mouth with a elongated exhale on the third
Okay.
exhale. So I'll show you that. So it's 3 parts in through the nose like this, or sniff, sniff, sniff. I don't know if the audio is being sort of challenged with the.
On my side, it sounds lovely. So we're good.
Perfect. So, and then.
I can do this.
Yeah.
Yes.
Try it. Nice and yeah. Good. And the ha is opening up the vagus nerve and activating that side of things on the parasympathetic nervous system. I can see you're already feeling it. Wow. Okay, now what we're going to do, Sarah, You got it. Wow, that was really quick. A lot of people need a little bit of adjustment, but you got it really quick. So well done. What we'll do it together for a minute with the eyes closed, if you don't mind. And then I'll ask you a few questions after.
Beautiful. I'm going to take my glasses off just because I can, because that's how I meditate. So yes, here we go.
Okay, still. So keep eyes closed, and 3, 2, 1, and go. Okay, you can stop there. Just relax. Keep the eyes closed, Sarah. Just relax. Just gently observe and feel what's happening within. Just relax. And keeping your eyes closed, Sarah, tell me what you notice and how you feel.
I find it fascinating that my thumbs and first fingers and middle finger are very heavy and feel very large. And having led a Reiki client yesterday through an exercise where we were releasing the negative feelings and the emotions in the fingers in order to open up that smaller chakra in the middle of the hands, I'm amazed at how much negative energy there is in mine because I was doing along as I was leading. So
Yep.
I find that fascinating.
Yes. Interesting. Yeah. Did you notice any mild sensations around the head, the brain, on top of the head?
Definitely around the jawline.
Jaw. Okay.
Around the jawline, definitely. Yes. And there was movement also around my heart.
Okay.
Of
Good.
energy moving. Yes.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Do you feel that your heart rate has slowed down a bit?
It did.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. And do you feel like the mental chatter, what we call the monkey mind, or it's often talking, has that slowed down a bit?
Yes.
Mental chatter.
I'm much more present.
Yep.
I hear noises outside that before would have irritated to some degree, although I know how to mitigate that. And this was, oh, I hear it and it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Exactly. Now, do you feel a kind of expansion of awareness beyond the body, that your mind is kind of bigger
Yes.
than the body? Yeah.
Definitely. Yes.
Okay. And you mentioned you feel a 9 out of 10 earlier. What would you say you feel now?
Definitely that pushing towards that 10. I am feeling still the emotions leaving. For the thumb in Chinese medicine, the thumb is the looking back in our life, anything that has to do that we have regret or feel disappointment or disillusionment or whatever. And I'm just amazed at how that is still releasing. I don't need to know what it is, and I give it permission to release, but I'm aware that that's still releasing.
Very good. Very good. Overall, are you fairly surprised how quickly this worked, given that you just did it for
Yes,
60 seconds?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, very surprised at how very, very quickly it worked. And this is something that you could do if you were in an airplane and were feeling concerned about anything at all. It's such a quiet thing that you could do. Yeah, to be able to bring yourself back into alignment.
That's right. Do you feel like you're in a flow state somewhat?
Say one more time.
Do you feel like you're in a flow state
Yes.
somewhat?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. And now you can see when we help people with insomnia who say, oh, I've been having insomnia for 5 or 10 or 15 years, taking meds and melatonin and all different things like Zopiclone and so on. And they do this method and they fall asleep within 30 to 90 seconds. Can you get a sense of how that can be the case because it's very soothing on the brain and the energy? Do you get a sense of that a little bit?
I do. And also giving the brain something to focus on with counting and easy to count to 3, right? And having that third exhale be longer breaks up the pattern for the brain, and just giving it that this is the pattern that we're going to focus on. It's much easier than focusing on, just breathe in and out and trying to get your mind to go to a quiet place. This actively moves it to a quieter place.
Exactly. And you made a very good point earlier, Sarah, when you said, you could do this on a plane, you can do it in a car, before you go and meet your wife and kids, or the other way around, the wife goes to meet the husband and kids. Do it in the car before you enter the house. You change the whole energy dynamic.
Yes.
The harmony that you'll feel in the house, you'll be so much more peaceful, and you don't have to struggle to put a smile on your face. You genuinely feel in flow state, like nothing is bothering you.
Right. Yeah.
So when we teach corporates, lawyers, and people in organizational fields and what have you, they're so surprised how quickly they're able to get on track and deal with high level stress situations and their colleagues and really feel good about the day and their time in the job. So you made a very good point about its flexibility, being able to do it practically anywhere.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you open your eyes now? No worries.
Beautiful. So beautiful. So beautiful. So you talked about 15 minutes 4 times a day. Does a person do this for the whole 15 minutes? Do they do it for a bit of time and then they shift into a quieter space? Set a timer for 15 minutes? I'd love to hear more about that.
Yeah, I mean, practically speaking, when a lot of people, they don't know anything about breathing and energy dynamics and consciousness and so on.
Right.
So when we say 15 minutes, you don't have to do this method for 15 minutes. You can do this for 2 to 3 minutes if you want. And then we've got, we teach people how to apply it to different situations like relationships, health, business challenges, or growth challenges, or mental challenges, whatever it happens to be. But to move into parasympathetic means to read, sit with your eyes closed, do something fun, preferably not scrolling, on
Right.
social media.
Right.
But do something that makes you happy, like have a drink, eat something that makes you happy. Just turn off from things and just be in a quiet space for 15 minutes, at least 4 times a day. That helps you move into parasympathetic. Don't worry about the world. Don't worry about all that.
Right.
It's always going to be there. Don't worry about that.
Yes.
Move yourself away from it and just calm, relax, enjoy your time. Read a nice, inspiring book, like with spirituality or some motivational quotes or something. Listen to some beautiful music. Anything you can do. Just move away from the busyness and get back into your interior space.
So if we call these recesses, or however, pulling, I will find a word that will make sense to me that's very positive. At this point, just that space, right? Can it be bookending the day and then 2 other times in the middle of the day? Or do you recommend bookend your days however, and then really set aside 4 separate other times to do?
I'll answer that by telling you a little secret.
Yes.
Okay. Now, if you've studied Andrew Huberman, Wim Hof, of course, you can see them online on YouTube and so on. There's also a guy called Stephen Kotler and a Hungarian scientist called Csikszentmihalyi, right? He was known as the godfather of flow state, right? Now,
Yes.
if you go on Amazon, you can see all of his books. He's still very, after all these, 30, 40 years, still highly respected, still posthumously famous, and still, just influencing lots of people. He said, though, here's an interesting thing. It takes 10,000 hours of a discipline of a particular art or craft to get into flow
Yes.
state.
Yes.
But the truth
Exactly.
is, if you think about what you just did, it only took you 60 seconds to get to flow state.
Right. Right. Yes.
So the trick to answer your question here, the secret is you're
Yes.
supposed to be in flow state all day long.
Exactly.
There you
Exactly.
go. There you
Yes.
go.
Yes. And the 10,000 hours is actually that of mastering something. And if you can do this short in 60 seconds, this is the beginning of that journey. And yes, to absolutely embrace that. I would love, we talked before the show about possibly plugging something, making an offer. And then after you do that, I'd love for you to reiterate if there are things that you would like for people to really walk away with from our conversation.
Sure, absolutely. So, since people have been asking us about, how can I integrate this? My family suffers from insomnia. My child has ADHD. What's the quickest, easiest way? And I always tell them, look, school system doesn't teach you about energy. We do in a very succinct way.
Mm-hmm.
Someone was laughing with us the other day, and they said, Raj, there's a lot of very wealthy, high net worth individuals, billionaires who would love to know what you know.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, look, give them a PDF, right? The funny thing is, people who value their time more than their money will
Mm-hmm.
pay money gladly to solve a problem,
Right.
and they'll pay handsomely for it.
Mm-hmm.
So they will pay $500 to $1,000 for a one-page PDF,
Yes.
which gives them a solution to a problem.
Yes.
Whereas people who value money more than time, they will say, well, I need a 500-page book
Right. Right.
because
Yeah.
I need to have a lot of stuff to show what I paid for.
Exactly. Exactly.
We're
Yes.
like, no, time is your most precious asset. So you need to get the solution as quickly as possible.
Absolutely.
So that's one of the massive insights that we've heard from sort of high net worth individuals valuing time more than money.
Yes.
Now, people can go onto keepfitkingdom.com, and there'll be a 3-3 insomnia hack program on there. You can
Beautiful.
click that. It's really inexpensive. It's like $97. And
Lovely.
there's no residual, there's no membership fees or anything like that. It's a one-time cost. Solutions all contained within that program.
Excellent.
Yeah, you got testimonials from the NHS, Novartis, Philips, Oracle, software companies on there as well.
Yes.
You can ask questions on WhatsApp, email. Yeah, that's a great place to go. A
Beautiful.
lot of
And then something that you would like to reiterate that you want our audience to walk away with holding on to.
I would say that the Greek aphorism, know thyself.
Yes.
Know thyself. Because
Mm-hmm.
everyone's so distracted with so many things
Yes.
that when you die, you'll say, what did I actually learn? What did I do here? What's this all about? This life is a game, believe it or not, and
Yes.
we should win it by learning as much as we can about
Yes.
ourselves.
I love that. Raj, thank you so, so, so much for your incredible wisdom, your willingness to share it so easily, and would love to have you come back on our show at some point in the future. I've really appreciated this conversation. Thank you.
Been great. Thank you so much for having me.
And to our audience, we say thank you for being here all the way to the very end. We just appreciate you listening in, allowing these things to touch your life so that you choose life and choose it in ways that make sense. And until next time, friend, take good care of you.